Welcome back everybody to the Modern Landing Page Design tutorial series. So in the previous part, we have laid out how the bento grid will be structured. Now this is not the actual structure or shapes the bento grid will take, rather it is just a way for us to know or a way for us to visualize how the bento grid will incorporate with the rest of the design. So far we have created a navbar, a hero section, and a trust symbol section, and we have laid out the bento grid section. So we're going to be completing the bento grid today. One thing that's different in today's part or episode is that this I'm not going to be creating the bento grid uh, like I'm not going to be coming up with the ideas in front of you today. The reason for that is bento grids are complicated, and if I were to sit down and like try to think of the ideas here, it would take so long. One video won't be enough. So instead, I'm going to be showing you how I came up with the ideas and the general principles of creating a bento grid. So if that's cool, let's just start in the video by just deleting this layout here. And we're going to be working on our first grid. So thinking of it, what I came up with is that people would want to see if their clients, if they're looking for freelancers, they want to see like a proof of the platform. Have this platform worked for other people? So we're gonna be creating that just by showing how much money has been transferred in the platform. Okay, so let's just say this actually just a random number. This is not a real service, so just gonna say 125 million. Let's just make this a bit bigger. 64 maybe, 72, and let's make it semi-bold. Then let's just duplicate this and make it plus, meaning more than. So now let's just select this and let's decrease it to 48 maybe. Yeah, okay, that seems good. It's just gonna select them both, Shift A to auto layout them, and we're just gonna be saying we're gonna be, let's say, amount. Let's just top align them. So okay, this looks good, and from 13 let's decrease it down to 8. Okay, so this is the amount of money transferred on the platform. Looking good. Now if you just say 125 million plus, people are not gonna understand. What is it? The number of freelancers on the platform, clients you have helped, what is it? So you have to be descriptive. That's why we need to go down. Just type a description. Let's just say over $100 million in transaction transactions. Now we can just go down and just decrease this down to 16. Also from semi-bold to regular. Also, let's change the color since we don't want this to stand out as much. So gray 600 is what we've been using. So I'm going to be being consistent with the design. Again, we have spoken about this many times. Your design should feel consistent. That's why we're using gray 600, which is a color we've been using for low contrast text all over the design. Okay, now let's just group these. Let's just make this a bit smaller in size. Then let's just group these, Shift A, out will layout them and say platform transactions. Give it 16 pixel by 16 pixel padding, and we're going to be changing the gap to auto so that it takes the width, the height of the actual card. So let's just say hard content for the width. We're going to keep the height for fixed so that we can adjust it, and the platform, the card would adjust with it. Now the final thing remaining is to give it a pixel border radius and give it a stroke. Again, the stroke would be gray 800, I think, which is what we've been going with for the whole design. So we're going to be keeping it consistent. Yeah. Okay, great. This now we're done with this card. One thing that remains is to go just here and give it a fill of whites, so that even if we might want to take it out, it still looks visible. Okay, one done. I think it's 5, so I think it's 4 to go. Okay. Next, we want to tell the user that this is an open source software. So the software itself is being built by open source contributors. So we just want to highlight that. So we're just going to do it very simply. By the way, uh, I have left the link to the design file down below in the description. So you can go there and go to under the pages, go to the assets page, and you have all the assets we need today. Okay, so I have left all of this here. So we're gonna need the GitHub logo. Just copy it, go back to the design, and let's just paste it. Okay, then Shift A auto layout. It's 32 pixel by height, by the way, if you are wondering. So again, frame. Let's say, uh, let's just main icon for the card. So okay, so the padding. Let's try 8 pixel by 8 pixel. So following up, we're gonna give it a stroke, right? So again, the stroke would be the default stroke color we've been using all over the design, which is gray 800. Finally, I'm gonna give it a fill. Actually, also an 8 pixel corner radius, stay consistent. Actually, we have talked about how when you put a border radius inside a container with another border radius, this should be a lower border radius, so maybe 6. Okay, I'm changing the padding here. 6 or 4. 6. Let's just make it consistent. Center align it and give it a fill. Okay, so do we already have a fill for this? This is too dark. This is too dark too. Gray 900. Okay, yeah, this is the fill one. Gray 900. So obviously you can, if you're new to the series, you can take all the colors from the design file. I've already compiled them into, you can just click local variables and you have all the colors. And again, yeah, so you can get it from there. Next, we want to indicate what this card is for. Again, we want to say powered by. Since we are saying that this platform is powered by open source contributors, right? So powered by, which will be maybe like 20 pixels, maybe semi-bold, and open source contributors. I misspelled that. Contributors. So now let's make this contributor 16 pixel, but let's keep it bold and black. Well, this will be bold, but actually gray. Here, let's change it to gray. Is this 600? Yeah, gray 600. So this is a technique where we keep like a steady amount of consistency. We keep like visual hierarchy intact by changing some aspect of this into a lower visual hierarchy state, like we're making it more gray, so reducing its visibility, but we are also increasing its size. So that's a cool trick, and it's really a dangerous thing to work with. So you need experience, and with experience and with time, you're going to be easily spotting these stuff. Okay, so let's just group them, give a maybe 6 pixel or 4 pixels. Okay, 4 pixel gap between them. Then again, let's rename it. You can see that I'm renaming everything, and that's because at some stage, when your design becomes very large, it becomes very hard to handle them, and it becomes annoying to work with your design. So get into the habit of naming all your frames, and you'll appreciate it once your design becomes overwhelmingly like huge. So again, we're gonna name this uh, content, and let's just shift A. Let's rename this open source 16 by 16. All our bento grids will have 16 by 16 gap padding and an 8 pixel border radius with a white fill and the grayish color stroke, right? Gray 800, I believe. So again, we're going to change the 64 pixel gap to be auto, and let's just place it here. This is not the final placement. We're going to be changing some stuff. We're going to be changing some stuff, but for now, I think it's good enough. Okay, next, let's work on uh, the talent section. Okay, on the talent section, we want to give the visitors of the website, the clients, information on is the talent on the platform, or are the freelancers actually capable and are experienced with the technologies that they would want to be hiring for example, Django, Rails, Python, Rust, and PostgreSQL. So those are just random tech stacks I've mentioned, but we're going to be focusing on those, ensuring like the freelancers on the platform are capable. Okay, so how do we do that? Very simple. First, we're going to be needing a heading. Let's just say experienced talent in many technologies. Okay, let's make this a bit bigger, fairly bigger, like 20 pixels. Let's duplicate this and just a description. Uh, our because they are freelancers are qualified in many stacks and tools to let's just say to make your business performant and scalable. Okay, then let's reduce this to 40 pixels. We can also make this 60 pixels, but I'm gonna leave it 20 for now. Let's make this regular, and again, subtitles or subheadings, I'm gonna make it gray 600. You can see like the only reason that our design looks like premium and it doesn't look cheap as the designs you might see like on Fiverr is because we are keeping everything consistent. Uh, Everything is following the same design ideology and the same concept. So following on, let's just make this a bit smaller for now. Let's actually make this smaller than this or larger. It's a matter of like eyeing it and seeing what works and what doesn't. So next we move over to our assets and let's just copy this frame, the whole frame, and bring it over here. Okay, so then we just want to like let's ungroup them first of all, ungroup them, and let's make this. For example, let's say Shift A for this. Uh, let's just say PostgreSQL, and again a 6 pixel border radius. We're gonna be doing the same thing like we did with the GitHub icon. Okay, actually, it's actually the same thing, right? So let's just copy it and bring it here. Just cut it. Control Shift R to paste it. Again, we have talked about shortcuts in Figma. Control Shift R is pasting with replace. Let's just duplicate it a couple of times. Let's cut this. Control Shift R. Cut this. Control Shift R. Cut. Control Shift R, and one more time, like duplicate. Control Shift R. Okay, actually cut. Control Shift R. Great. So our icons are set up. Actually, let's rename them. Let's just say PostgreSQL REST Python Django, and finally Rails. So now what we can do is we can select them all, Shift 8 to auto layout them, make them like horizontally layout, horizontally like stacked, and 16 pixel gap. And this is, can we make it a bit? Okay, I think this is fine. And these are like the main technologies we are focusing on. We are showcasing. The reason I chose these technologies is one, the icons were easy to find. So actually, in a real environment, in a real production environment, you will not be making these decisions based on ease of finding assets. But this is just for educational purposes, okay? Uh, so you would actually choose the most popular. For example, Python will stay, okay? Django, Rails might stay, Rust might stay because it's popular, but in no way you're gonna be putting PostgreSQL here. Instead, you might put HTML or something based on popularity, okay? So let's just say stack here, tech stack, and we have select the headers, and we're gonna say content again, keeping even the naming should be consistent. 16 pixel gap. Let's just Shift A again, as we've been doing auto. And the reason we're doing auto is we want to scale it to see what works and what doesn't later on. Again, corner radius 8 pixels, 16 pixel by 16 pixel padding. Finally, a stroke actually of 800 and a fill of white. So now let's just make this a bit larger. Okay, let's just put it here and move on. Okay, so what's next? Next up, we have like we have to showcase our talent. Our talent means the freelancers on the platform. So this is for the freelancer. So if people want to come on the platform to be a freelancer, we have to show them that our freelancers are actually earning money and are actually successful since they joined our platform. Actually, let's rename this experience style and many technologies. So tech stack. Let's just say tech stack. Okay, so now how do we do that? First of all, let's actually put now a container like I don't know what you call this. It's like a button, but it's not actually clickable. It's just to show like the title of the card. You're gonna see it more in action. Let's just say find clients, 14 pixel, semi bold, Shift A. Let's just say title. Corner radius again 4 pixels, 6 pixels actually. We want to be consistent. So everything inside the containers is 6 pixel corner radius. Gap 900 gray, stroke. Is it 800, right? Yes. Okay, it's 800 actually. Zero gap and maybe 10 8 by 8. Okay, so this is like the pill shaped title. Then we want to say no more wasting. We actually can copy this since it's like a headline. Just sorry, just duplicate this, put this here and say no more wasting time applying on random job boards. Let's decrease it a bit and let's change it. Here you just focus. By the way, I have written these texts pre-hand, so that's why. In reality, you'll just you would either have like somebody focused on copywriting, or you'd like do the research and see what works and what doesn't. You have to appeal to target audience. Okay, so now we just drag this, put this here on top, and this is our content. Then we need to go to the assets. Let's copy this, the whole like we have to copy the whole images. So again, the main idea with these images are that they're low contrast, low saturation images that work directly with like all images we've been using are low saturation. Everything, even the icons are black and white. So now what we want to do, let's rename this. We don't actually have to do anything here. Just have to rename these to freelancers. Then let's decrease the gap. Actually, let's make the gap very small in the negatives. You might have seen this trend. Then we want to like select all the images and decrease the height. Okay, 14 pixels by 14 pixels. Then okay, so it's a bit cluttered here, so let's just increase the gap. 12 pixels. Okay, 12 pixels looks good. Now again, select all the images and add a stroke. Stroke, is it 800? Okay, yeah. So you can see it's like subtle, but it gives enough separation between the images. So now that we have this, we can like people will see this and see is these the clients or the freelancers. So just say 12 plus clients each month. So just implying that these are the clients our freelancers are getting. Yeah, so now we just go semi-bold, 14 pixels, everything's fine. Just select these. Let's say 12 pixel gap. Yeah, I think that sounds good. Just now, let's just say clients. Okay, so now again say find clients. Again, we are doing the same thing, visual consistency and design consistency, right? First we make it auto, corner radius 8 pixels, fill white, stroke is 800, gray 800, padding 16 pixel by 16 pixel, and suddenly voila, this is the same, like this is the same style as all of the grids, as all of the cards. So this is what we want. In a bento grid, you want all your grids to have like different layouts and different ideologies and different design styles, but you want them to be consistent and you want them to feel like they're in the same design. Next, this part is pretty easy. So you can actually just duplicate this, remove the find clients part here, rename this, and this will be about like this is our, just to say that our platform gives you tools to manage your work, to manage your freelancers. Tools, let's just say tools. Managing freelance clients made easy. So the previous two cards are focused on the freelancers. So when you make a multi-purpose like website or a multi-purpose platform, you want to like apply, you want to be looking to focus this it's harder because you want not only to focus on the freelancers or not only on the clients, but we want to attract both of them because your platform is nothing without the client or the freelancer. So here we simply just say our platform provides you with tools to make you more productive, and help you grow your personal brand. Or we can just say business. Then we have to change this instead of this. We have in the assets, we have this image right here. Again, same design style, same image, right? Uh, Image style, low contrast, okay, low contrast, high quality image. Okay. So now let's just go here and paste it. Now instead we want to make this like left, so horizontally aligned. Uh, Again, we'll still keeping it at auto. Here, the width would be uh, like fixed width. Okay, so you want to like make it smaller or larger, and the height would be hug the content. And let's actually select this and give this. Let's make a bit smaller. Again, width hug content for this. Not hug content, actually fill container. Uh, okay, so now again, let's make this 4 pixel, right? 4 pixel. Let's remove this stroke, remove this corner radius. Let's make it 8 pixel. Again, 4 pixels. Sorry, 6 pixels actually. Now you might see that until now all of our content has looked enough, but when you come here, it's like there's too much white space, and I feel like we can add more like visual identity to the design to make it stand out. Let's just rename this to image. So how are we going to do that? Very simple. Look, here at the hero section, we use this grid, right? But nowhere else since have we used it. So what we want to do is we want to apply the grid system maybe to this, or maybe we can just duplicate this from the hero section. Hero grid system. Let's just duplicate this. And we can put it here maybe. Does this work? Okay, you know what? Let's just remove this for now. And we're going to be first laying out the grid, and maybe we're going to come back to it and actually adding the grid somewhere in the future. So let's finish today's part, as I think the video is getting a bit too long. Let's just focus on finishing it today. So let's actually increase the size of the image. Okay, then okay. Now what's left is to just lay out the grid. So let's actually make it into a proper grid. First of all, in the design I have the experience talent here on the top. So let's make it a bit larger, and let's come here and reduce the size of this. Right? So this is the maximum it could go. Okay, nice. Now let's go over to the 125 million parts. Let's top align this. Okay, let's top align this, make it a bit larger on the heights. Then So how do you come up with this ideas? First of all, you have to look at other bento grids and see how are they doing it, how are they laying out the design. Second of all, you want to actually look into your design yourself and see, does this work? So most of the time, design is, our brains are like trained to identify what looks good and what doesn't. So your brain most of the time will tell you exactly what you're needing to do. Again, so let's put this here. You see now why we made it auto, because now we can just scale it and it will work with the design. So let's just put this here and maybe further. Maybe you can. Okay, that looks good. Now let's make this build the whole width. Okay, now this is like roughly the kind of bento grid we want to design. So what we want to do is we want to actually go over and make the gaps consistent. So here is 31, here's 33, here's 32, here's 31. This is not right. We want to make it consistent. So let's just actually select these all and a gap of 24 by 24. Okay, so now let's just ungroup them because auto layout doesn't work for bento grid. So now we can see that this is 24. So we want to raise them up to be 24 here. So 13. By the way, if you click Alt on the box here and you select this one, it will tell you how far away they are. So if you didn't know, this is some good feature of Figma. So 24 by 24. So now we want to make this the same. So now we want to again select this and 24. These are 24. Everything is 24 and it works. Then just build a container here. Nice. Okay, so this is now properly structured. So in a bento grid, you want your spacing to be perfect. You want your spacing to be completely symmetrical. So now let's just say Control G. Let's rename it bento grid. Finally, it's over. It's done. Now we can select this and actually central align it. From here, we want to say 64. How much actually is this 32, right? So maybe 32 is a bit smaller here. So we can try 48. 48, let's increase it to 52. 52 pixels here works great. By the way, you don't select gaps or numbers randomly. You want them to be like consistent. What I mean by that is you want them to be like even numbers, and you want those even numbers to be like very divisible. For example, 8, 6, 4, 2, 64, 72, 96. The reason we are using these numbers is that they are so much factorizable, and now you might not actually know the difference, but when your design grows, it will be very evident that you need your spacings to be like divisible, and you need your spacing to be like factors, good factors of many numbers. So in the future, maybe you're gonna talk more about that. But for now, know that it's just a good rule to follow. So 96, 96. Let's just group these. Let's say 52 pixels. Finally, 96 pixels here. And finally, central align it. And we are done with our bento grid. Okay, so the design is coming along quite nice. Let's say features for this. So let's see actually the design. How is it looking? So this is the hero section. The first part the user will see on scroll. The trusted by section, companies the platform has worked with before, and then the bento grid. I'm really liking the bento grid here. I think we've done a good job working on the bento grid. Now let's just structure this hero trusted by screen. Okay, everything is great now. Everything is working fine. So thanks for watching today's part. The support on the series has been incredible. Again, go check out the description and see and check out the design file. I've put it down below in the description. You can take the assets from there. You can study it. Anything you want to do. Thanks for watching. I really hope you enjoyed today's episode. Until next time, goodbye.